Chapter 6 Shri Gajanan Maharaj. O most auspicious one, it is the experience of the saints that your blessings drive away everything that is inauspicious. Believing in it, O God, I have come to your doors with great hopes. If it disappoint me, it will mean disrepute to you, and the saints as well. So, Madhav, uphold my prestige, and never be angry with this innocent child of yours. Please remember that any shortcoming of a child brings blames to his mother. Once, Pankatlal took Sri Maharaj to his farm for eating maize corns. Many other people had gathered there for the party of corns, and the sitting arrangement was made near the well. The well had ample water, and there were many tamarind trees around. Fire was put on 8 to 10 places to fry the corns, and a lot of smoke was rising up in the sky. There was a big honeycomb on the tamarind tree, and due to the smoke, the bees rushed out on the people below. Leaving the corns, they started running away, some of them covering their heads with blankets. In the world, nothing is more precious than our own life. So was the case with these people. In all this scramble, Shri Gajanan Maharaj was sitting undisturbed and thinking about the honeybees. He was thinking, I am the bees, I am the honeycomb, and one who has come to eat the corn is I, and the corn is also I am. While he was thus thinking blissfully, innumerable bees landed on his body, giving an appearance of a blanket of bees. The insects were biting and piercing the needle-like thorns inside his body, but Sri Maharaj was not bothered by it. This went on for some time, making the helpless devotees miserable. Pankatlal felt very sorry for having brought Sri Maharaj to the farm and said that he himself was responsible for the bites inflicted by the bees on Sri Maharaj. Thinking so, Pankatlal was about to rush to the rescue of Sri Maharaj, but by his divine power, Sri Gajana understood it and said to the bees, O insect, go back to the honeycomb, and don't harm my beloved Pankatlal, who is the only real devotee amongst all the people here. And the bees really flew back to the honeycomb. Sri Maharaj laughed and said to Pankatlal, You have given a good feast of these bees to me. Those poisonous insects attacked me, and all the Laddu Bhakta ran away. Give a thought to it, and remember that in times of calamity, except God, nobody helps you. These selfish people gathered here for a feast and ran away when the bees attacked. Pankatlal said, O Maharaj, I very much regret for having brought you here. I am responsible for causing these bees bites today. I am a great sinner. Kindly tell me what shall I do to relieve you of these bee bites. Shall I call the goldsmith to pull out the bee thorns by his pincers? Sri Maharaj replied, Pankat, nothing extraordinary has happened, as it is the nature of the bees to bite, and they behaved accordingly. I assure you that these bites will not affect me, as I know the Satchitananda in those bees. He is in those bees, and I am his incarnation. How can water hurt water? Hearing this divine knowledge, Pankat kept quiet and brought a goldsmith to pull out the bee thorns from the body, above the body of Sri Maharaj. The goldsmith came with a pair of pincers and started searching for the thorns in his body. Sri Maharaj laughed and said that the thorns would not be seen by naked eyes and the pincers are useless to pull them out. And to prove that, he inhaled the air and held up his breath. The thorns immediately came out of the body. Looking to this miracle, people were glad to realize the greatness of Sri Maharaj. After that, all the people enjoyed the feast of maize corns and returned home in the evening. Once, Sri Maharaj went to a court to meet his saint brother Narsingji, who was a disciple of Kot Shah Ali. Maratha by caste, he had become dear to Sri Vittal by his bhakti. Since I have narrated his detailed life in Bhakti Lila Amrit, I do not repeat it here. Akot is 36 miles to the northeast of Shegaon, and Gajanan Maharaj went there with the speed of wind. Sri Narsingji was staying in a dense forest near Akot to get solitude. This forest, without any inhabitants, was very dense with big trees, creepers, wild grass, and many snakes in it. In such a dreadful forest, Sri Narsingji was living all alone. Sri Maharaj went there to meet him. Water mixes with water, and like things merge with each other. Unlike things never mix with each other. So looking to Sri Gajanan, Sri Narsingji was happy beyond description. One was Hari and the other was Har. One was Ram and the other the sons of Vasudeva and Devki. One was Shrij Vashisht and the other that of Godavari. One was the Kohinoor and the other Kaushtar. One was Ventev and the other son of Anjani. Both of them met each other and were very happy. They sat near each other and exchanged their experiences. Shri Gajanan said, Narsingha, you have done well by leading a family life. I renounce that and follow the path of yoga. To know the ultimate reality, the Brahma, in the path of yoga, many strange things incomprehensible to the common man happen, and to hide them, I many times behave like a madman. To know the ultimate truth, there are three paths: karma, bhakti, and yoga. Apparently, they look like the same different path. They look like three different paths, but in reality, they reach the same goal. If a yogi feels proud of his path, he will remain away from the ultimate truth. He should keep himself clean from the effects of yoga kriya, like a lotus leaf. Then only he can know the ultimate truth. Same is in the case with family life. One should not have attachment with your family. A pebble remains in water, but does not allow the water to enter it. Such should be your behavior in family life, free from all expectations and with full concentration on the Almighty. Then nothing is impossible. You, me, and God are one, and the people too are not different from Him. Shri Singha said, I am grateful to you for meeting me. This prapanch is unreal like a shadow at noon. I will follow your advice, but keep on coming to me. Everything is predestined in this world, and we have to perform a duty in this life as per the desire of God. My only request is that you should come frequently to meet me, as I am your younger brother. Just like Bharat waiting at Nandigram for Sri Ram, I am here at a court for you. With your yogic achievements, it is very easy for you to come here. A yogi, without touching anywhere, can have a round of the universe in minutes. With intimate love for each other, they were speaking all night. Real saints behave like this only, but hypocrites quarrel with each other. These hypocrites should not be accepted as gurus, as they are like a broken ship on the sea. They get a lot of publicity, but carefully we should discard them. Living in the mutt or learning the art of composing poems does not make one a saint, but only self-knowledge does it. Can we accept gold-corded articles as gold, or a prostitute as a housewife? These two saints were real and pious. When people knew that Shri Gajanan Maharaj had come to meet Sri Narsingji, they thought it to be a confluence of Godavari and Bhagirathi. And by going, they could get the satisfaction of taking a dip in this confluence. So people with coconuts in their hands started rushing to the forest. But Shri Gajanan, with the permission of Sri Narsingji, had already left, and all the people were disappointed. Once, in his usual wandering, Shri Gajanan came with his disciples, reached the village Shiva. This place is on the bank of Chandrabagha, near Daryapur, and Sri Vrajabhushan, a learned man, was living there. He, knowing 4 languages, was famous all over Vidarbha, and was a great devotee of the God's Son. It was his daily routine to get up early in the morning, take bath in the Chandrabagha, and offer prayers to the sun. He was respected by all intellectuals. Shri Gajanan Maharaj came to Shiver village as if to give Vrajabhushan the fruits of his prayers. He, as usual, came to Chandrabagha for his bath and saw Shri Gajanan Maharaj sitting on the bank of the river. It was morning time, with twilight spread all over the sky. Cocks were crowing all around the chatak. Brother-age birds were flying as if to pay respect to the rising sun. With the sun peeping up from the horizon, darkness quickly disappeared, like fools leaving the congregation at the sight of a learned. At such a pleasant morning, Shri Gajanan was sitting there in full bliss of Brahmanand, and his disciples around him like rays of the sun. While offering his usual prayers to the sun, Vrajabhushan saw Shri Gajanan Maharaj with his lustrous body, long arms, and eyes concentrated at the tip of the nose. With great joy, he went running to Shri Gajanan Maharaj, poured water at his feet, and offered puja, went round him, and prostrated before him 12 times, reciting the holy names of the sun. Then respectfully performed arati and prostrated before him, singing hymns in the praise of Shri Gajanan. Vrajabhushan said, By the darshan of this divine feat, I got today the fruits of my penance. So far, I was offering prayers to the sun in the sky. But today, I see him in the form of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. O Gajanan, you are real Brahma, full of knowledge and the supporter of this universe. You have taken many births, ages after ages, and by your darshan, all vows vanish. Kindly bless me. Saying so, Vrajabhushan finished his prayers. Shri Gajanan affectionately embraced him, like a mother to a child. Then putting his hand on the head of Vrajabhushan, Sri Maharaj said, "You will be respected and loved by the people. Don't leave the path of karma, nor think the rituals to be meaningless, but at the same time, don't get involved in it. Do your duty and renounce the fruit. This will enable you to meet Sri Krishna and keep you clean of the effects of your action. Remember my words when you go home. I will meet you in your meditations." Saying so, Sri Gajanan gave Vrajabhushan the prasad of coconuts and went back to Shegam. This Shega was formerly known as Shivaga and later on became Shega. There were 17 Patel families in this village only. Shri Gajanan Maharaj returned to Shega but did not stay there for long. He kept on moving from place to place. He visited Akor, Akola, Malkapur, and many other places. Months of Jeshta and Asar passed. Shravan came and the annual function of Lord Hanuman started in the temple. This was a big temple at Shegao, and all Patil families were devotees of Hanumanji. Patil, being a powerful authority in the village, all people normally cooperated with everything that he did. The function lasts for a month with Abhishek, reading of holy books, kirtan, and feeding of people to their heart's content. Khandu Patil, noble-hearted, was the leader of the function. Authority of the Patil is like a tiger skin, and whosoever puts it on becomes a terror to the people. There is a proverb in Marathi meaning that whatever a king cannot do can be done by united people. The proverb aptly applies here. So Shri Gajanan Maharaj came to this temple in the month of Shravan to attend the functions, and don't bunk it long. Henceforth I will stay in this temple, and you should not mind it. Saints and sages are not supposed to stay permanently with people leaving family life. I am a sannyasi, so shall stay in this temple only. But whenever you want, I will visit your house. I am giving you the secret knowledge. Sri Shankaracharya had to move from place to place. Sages Machindra and Jalandhar avoided the houses of people leading family life and stayed in forests under trees. Shivaji, who protected the Hindus and punished the Yamans, loved Ramdas Swami, but Swamiji preferred to stay away at Sajjangarh. Think over this, obey me, and don't bother about my place of stay. This is in your own interest. Helplessly, Bankatlal gave his consent to what Sri Maharaj said. Sri Maharaj came to the temple and all were happy. Bhaskar Patil stayed there in his service. May this Gajanan Vijay, composed by Dasganu, guide the seekers to reach the feet of saints. Shubham Bhavatu, here ends chapter 6. Swami Samarthagna Shri Gajanan Maharaj Ki Jai Jai.